Hello and welcome to another booktube video from me, Martha May Books. And today, you've seen the title and the thumbnail, you know what's happening. It's Becca's Bookoplathon. Becca's Bookoplathon is a readathon hosted by Becca in the Books here on BookTube. I will link her channel down below. And it is based all around the TBR game that she plays, Bookopoly, and allowing us all the chance to play Bookopoly. In the description below to Becca's original video talking about this, and there in the description of that video are all of the links to the board, and also there are community shelf and chance cards that are on there as well, so you can go print those out, take part. I'm really excited for this. Before we get into all of the roles that I did and all of the books that I chose, I want to tell you some books that I will be reading through September that I didn't get to fit into this because I didn't quite know if they would. I'll explain. The first book that I'm going to be reading in September is The Burning Kingdoms by Sally Green. This is the third book in the Smoke Thieves series. I just spoke about this for my cozy reading night video. It follows a group of It's a YA fantasy, and it follows a group of teenagers who are smoke thieves, but they aren't smoke thieves like, oh, we go and steal smoke. No, they're like a princess, a knight, an actual demon slaying girl, because the smoke comes from the demons. There's a guy who's the illegitimate son of a king. It's so good. Please check it out if you're interested in YA fantasy. So I'm going to be reading this. I suppose I could have read it for foil on the cover, but I'm going to be starting it tomorrow, which when you're watching this, it will be the last day of the month, which would make sense, but I'm actually going to be reading this through the end of August as well, so I don't think it counts. So there's that one. And then I have been gifted a, not by Mr. B's, by someone in my family, a Mr. B's 6-month subscription, which is where you fill out a form with your reading preferences and they send you books. I've had the email today for who the author is, but I don't know what book they're going to be sending me, and so I don't feel like I can choose it for one of these prompts because I don't know what the book is. Before we get started, I want to tell you guys a little bit about my setup. So I originally thought for my counter I would use this little guy who is he's my old D&D character, and he is, what are you? I think he's like a goblin or something. I can't remember because I don't play him anymore. I DM now for my friends, but he, I think, was a little goblin guy. I don't think normally you can play as goblins, but I was being difficult and I wanted to play as a goblin, and he lives on my shelf now. I made him out of clay because I love him. I think he was called Grumbled, but I'm not sure. And I was going to use him as my counter, but he turned out to be too large because it's a mini board. I'm not being nasty to you, Grumbled. So I made my own counter, which I will show you in the clips of the board. But it's a duck pin on blue tack with some paper under it. So it's like a little duck guy. Let's get into it. 1, 2, 3, small book. So first of all, I rolled a 3, which took me to small book, which is less than 300 pages. So I could have taken this prompt and chosen a book that would have benefited me in this readathon by choosing a really short book, but instead of doing that, I decided to go for Bitter Orange by Claire Fuller, which I think is 279 pages, so it's barely under 300 pages. Why do I do this? I don't know a lot about this, but this book has been compared to Daphne du Maurier, and I really like Daphne du Maurier, and I've also read Our Endless Numbered Days by Claire Fuller, and I really enjoyed that, so I'm hoping I will enjoy this. I think it's about some people in a big old house being spied on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Foiled cover. Next, I rolled a 5 and got the prompt a foiled cover. So I went for Shadow Scent by PM Freestone. So this is a ARC. This book is already out. I think it came out in 2019, 7th of February 2019, and it seems to be set in a fantasy world where they use scent and perfume as magic. That's all I know about it. It says the power of poison, the secrets in scent, the journey to justice. So I'm excited for this, and as you can see, it is very foiled and very beautiful cover of this proof. Next, I got audiobook or ebook. For this prompt, I'm going to be listening to the audiobook of The Subtle Knife by Philip Pullman. I got into the His Dark Materials series last year with the BBC drama adaptation that they did of Northern Lights that's called His Dark Materials, and it's going to be, I think, all of the books in the series. I started reading The Subtle Knife by Philip Pullman on audio, and I really liked it on audio, and then I tried to read it in physical and I couldn't get through it. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I rolled an 8, which took me to Becca Rec. So I was really hoping that I would get this prompt for this readathon because it's Becca's readathon, so I wanted to read something that she recommends. I went through the playlist that Becca had left in the Bookoplathon description of her recommendations, and I decided I wanted to go for one that I own because I'm trying to read less ebooks from the library, just because I have so many books that I own, and it's really exciting because you can get them for free and you don't even have to leave the house to get them, but I need to calm it with that. And so I was looking for a book that I owned that she recommends, and it took me so long, but I finally found one. So this was in the Best Books of 2019 video, and it's Scythe by Neil Shusterman. So I've seen this around BookTube for a very, very long time, and I wasn't massively interested until my old local independent bookshop used to, well, they still have it, I just don't live there anymore, has a corner called Bargain Corner where they put books that were damaged either in the bookshop or before it came to them, and they sell them at a massively discounted price. And I found this there, like, it's not damaged, but I got it, I think, for like £2. So I finally found one, but honestly, I was watching so many of these videos and I was like, I don't own any of these books, but I finally found one. I think this is about where they, like, scythe people, like kill people because people don't die anymore. I think that's what it's about. I'm interested to read it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I rolled a 10 and I got the prompt 5-star prediction. So I have a video of my 5-star predictions, and in that video is Middle Game by Shauna Maguire. Am I making mistakes? I'm going to read so many fantasies because I know that the Mr. B's book is going to be a fantasy as well. This is Middle Game by Shauna Maguire. I spoke about it in my 5-star predictions video. I have read about 50 pages in just because I thought I had the mental capacity to read it at one point. I did not, but I'm going to try and read it this time. It seems to be about a pair of twins, Roger and Dodger. They have magical powers. They're genetically engineered. It's a good time. I'm excited. Middle Game. Is this the month I read Middle Game? 1, 2, 3. Yes, I was just saying I didn't get one of these. Okay, so this is Kitty Chest, so let's see what I get. Finally, when I'd given up all hope of rolling to get to one of either the chance cards or the community chest cards, because I had sat and written out my little book ideas and cut them up. Well, I printed them, I wrote them out, and then I cut them up, and I didn't even roll one of them. I'd given up all hope. I rolled a community chest. So this is the card I got, and it was outside your comfort zone. So the books that I own that are most outside my comfort zone, I would say, would be any kind of romance, any kind of historical fiction. I really don't own that much romance because it's so outside my comfort zone, whereas historical fiction, I can kind of... I chose The Book of the Night Women by Marlon James. Lala, I know, is hosting her buzzword readathon, and the word is night. I can't remember the dates for it. I don't even know if it's in September. If it's in September, great. If it's not, I only own 2 books with the word night in the title, and this is one of them. This is also one of my 5-star predictions, and it's set on a sugar plantation in Jamaica in 1785. There's a rebellion. There's this girl called Lilith. I think this is historical fiction. I'll let you know if I was horribly wrong and it's actually a fantasy and I've just read another fantasy for outside of my comfort zone. Historical fiction is not massively out of my comfort zone, but it's the most out of my comfort zone that I buy. These are the books that I will be reading for Becca's Bookoplathon. as well as The Subtle Knife by Philip Pullman on audio. I want to say thank you very much to Becca for hosting this readathon and for doing the whole new board and all of the cards, even though I got to only use one of them. I'm thinking for the chance cards where you had to write books that you were excited for and books you weren't excited for, what I did is I wrote books that were the highest rated and the lowest rated on my TBR outside of series, because if I hadn't read the first one in the series, there was no way I was going to read the other books in the series. I think I might put them in one of the mugs that I keep on my shelves and do kind of like a TBR jar with that, because I don't want to just throw them away, because first of all, I printed them in colour and they look glorious. Thank you so much for watching my Becca's Bookoplathon TBR. If you were doing this readathon / TBR game, then please let me know in the comments down below, because I would love to watch them. I hope that you're doing very well. Thank you again for watching my video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!